We start with breaking news in Greenwood Village, where crews are battling a couple fires at restaurants and the shops at Greenwood Village. This is just off of Arapahoe Road, east of I-25.
90's reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live from the scene this morning. Brianna, what more have you learned out there?
Hey, good morning, Jordan, Corey. So again, like you guys mentioned, two different fires at two different locations in one shopping center just off Arapahoe Road, just off I-25. So the first one started right here at the Hibachi and Sushi. Firefighters, they said that they received a call just before 4 about smoke coming from the roof of that location. So it took firefighters about 20 minutes to get that fire under control. So less than an hour later, crews noticed smoke coming from 4 units down at a sports book bar and grill. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle because of how many police officers and fire crews we have on scene, but that's where that second fire started. Around 70 firefighters were called to the scene, as well as police. The owner of the sports bar, who is on scene right now, we've seen him talking to investigators. He's waiting to get inside to see all that damage, because not only did firefighters have to deal with 2 separate fires, but they also had a break-in call. Take a listen.
Our firefighters encountered was property damage before they arrived at that building, so signs of forced entry before firefighters arrived, and that makes it look like a burglary occurred.
Yeah, and when we spoke to fire crews here on scene, they say that there's fire damage as well as water damage at both of these locations. Right now, they said that they're going to be on scene for about 2 more hours so they can investigate. We have Greenwood Police as well here on scene talking to one of the owners of the sports grill. Now, this is not causing any roadblocks for that morning drive, especially if you're driving down Arapahoe Road, but you are going to see a lot of emergency personnel on scene. Corey, Jordan, I guess the big question is, how did both fires start at this one location? Still a lot of unanswered questions that we're definitely pushing answers for.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if arson is involved here, since they are so separated. On top of it, we know that police are investigating that burglary as well. Did they say what building that was?
Yeah, they actually, once we got off camera with them, they actually said it started at the sports grill, so the sports book bar and grill, which is why the owner's here, and they've been talking to them. He unfortunately doesn't want to go on camera, so hopefully he can get inside and see the damage that's inside of his building. And also, you have to think about, that's a sports bar, so there's tons of TVs inside,
Right.
so the damage inside of that building is significant.
Yeah, understandably, the owner has a lot of work ahead of him
Yeah.
this morning. Brianna, we appreciate your reporting, and for all our friends at home, of course, once we get more information, we'll bring that to you on air and online.
All right, let's take a live look outside right now. As you could see in Brianna's shot, the snow coming down quite a bit. She's kind of in one of the bands where the snow is coming down the heaviest. In other areas, you'll see that it's a little bit different. Right here outside the 9 News studios here at Spear and Logan, you can see it's just wet streets right now.
Right, but that snow that she was just talking about is causing some issues on the roads as you go farther south. This is South Parker Road and Quincy over from our over the camera from our Joe Swanson, who's out driving on the roads this morning. As you can see, the road's looking just wet right now, but we are seeing that they are slick in some spots, so we are urging caution as you head out the door this morning. Chris has a look at your forecast. Chris, I think some of the snow actually was a little bit heavier than we anticipated this morning.
Yeah, it's mostly on some of those colder surfaces. So we're talking about car tops. You saw in that shot from Joe a second ago where roads for, I would say, 90% of the metro area are wet, but there's quite a bit of accumulation on car tops, on grassy surfaces, things like that. So that's kind of the good news, is that I think for most of you out there that the impacts on the roads are fairly low. That said, 2 things. 1, remember that bridges and overpasses will freeze over first. And number 2 is that we do have some bands where there is some slushy accumulation on the roads. Let's take a look at HD Doppler radar. We are seeing some of that snowfall starting to wind on down for us in the Denver area, but still holding strong, especially, again, just on there's that little narrow area where we're just showing you, Brianna, from kind of DTC, Greenwood Village on north to about Glendale. That's where we're seeing some pretty heavy snowfall right now. So it's, again, the south side of the metro area, Cherry Hills Village, on west into Beaumar, Sheridan. Right now, you're seeing some pretty heavy snowfall right now. That probably won't last all that long. Southern Colorado getting in on some of the snow as well. Now, all this for the metro area here, Erica, is going to dissipate in the next probably 2 to 3 hours or so. It's already starting to wind on down. But Erica, am I right in saying that it looks to me like the majority of the metro area roads are are wet at this point. Is that right?
You're exactly accurate with that. What we're seeing is just a general wetness, even though that snow, of course, is falling out here. But because we've been dealing with warmer temperatures in general out here, the snow is hitting the interstates and it's just becoming wet. We know that's going to make things slick. Chris has been talking about those elevated surfaces, your bridges, your overpasses being very slick and dangerous. So please be careful. Take it slow this morning. We're definitely seeing things slow down out here at 225 and Mississippi Avenue, where we're seeing a lot of that accumulation of snow on the grassy areas. But again, just wetness on the roads. I-70 and Steele, pretty quiet, but we're getting slow and busier. 270 and York Street through Commerce City, pretty typical at this time of the morning. Let's take you over to our graphics right now. So we've got radar turned on. So where you're seeing all of that white and bluish color is going to be where you're going to be dealing with some of that snow falling, some of those wet roads. We're definitely starting to see some delays on northbound I-25. About a 20-minute commute time is what we're dealing with between the Tech Center and downtown. 17 minutes downtown to Tech Center. So overall, we're seeing about a 5 to 7 minute delay on I-25.
Yeah, I got a plan for that, Erica. Thank you. New this morning, when younger Denver firefighters were diagnosed with cancer, it rattled the department. Now the agency is in the middle of an evolution of how to keep firefighters healthier and living for longer.
9 News reporter Anusha Roy joins us live this morning. And Anusha, there has been a pretty big cultural change here.
Yeah, it definitely has. Denver Fire is calling this an era of modern firefighting. They're really focused on preventative care and education, both playing into why younger firefighters have been diagnosed. We saw part of this effort when Kaiser visited Denver Fire Station 26 for on-site screenings. They were looking for signs of cancer, heart disease, checking blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. It's unfortunately well known that firefighters are at a higher risk for certain cancers and cardiac issues. But here's the thing, the fire department is still learning about what exactly is putting them at risk. Just one example here is building materials have changed, and now firefighters are inhaling more burning synthetic materials and plastics. And then there's the issue of the very thing that is supposed to keep them safe.
Surprisingly, it's actually our protective gear. So the very same gear that protects us from the elements of a fire is also leading to some exposures to cancers, because the chemicals that are used to treat that gear have now been shown to be a cause of cancer in firefighters.
Denver Fire's Assistant Chief Eric Tate is talking about PFAS chemicals used for water resistance and heat protection, but like you heard, is also now turning out to be a cancer risk. And that is why Denver is working on moving away from using that gear. Manufacturers are currently working on it, and Denver is also looking into single-layer gear without PFAS for car crashes and emergency calls that don't have that high heat exposure. You know, this effort isn't just unique to Denver. It's actually part of a culture change in several agencies across Colorado and the country. And at Denver Fire, before this program began, only about 22% of their force was screened. Last year, that number jumped to 60%. They're hoping this year that number goes even higher.
Anusha, this is really close to my heart. I lost my dad, who was an LA City firefighter, to cancer related to being a firefighter. So I'm so glad that they're doing so much to change those numbers. We really appreciate you following up on this story. All right, it's 6:38 right now. We're getting a new look at the moments after a door plug blew off during an Alaska Airlines flight. A passenger on that Alaska Airlines flight just shared this video. A fuselage door plug blew off this Boeing 737 MAX 9 earlier this month over Portland, Oregon. The video shows one of the drop-down masks passengers need to put on in case of loss of pressure in the cabin. You can also see somebody's charger blowing in the wind.
Some of these 737 MAX 9 planes could be back in the air as soon as this weekend. The FAA added new inspection guidelines. Alaska and United are the only two airlines that use these planes, and they say they could start flying again by tomorrow, with more planes added every day. Boeing is pausing production on the planes while they figure out what exactly went wrong.
Six months from today, Olympic athletes will be riding on boats down the Seine River for the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
We can't wait for that, and our Matt Renew will be covering those Olympic Games there in Paris. Matt, some Colorado athletes have actually already made the U.S. Olympic team.
You're right, Jordan and Corey. Good morning. From rock climbing to cycling, even sport shooting, some Colorado athletes have already punched their tickets to the Summer Olympic Games in Paris. That's exciting, but it doesn't mean they can take a break from training.
At the G1 Climbing Gym in Broomfield,
train here quite frequently.
Team USA climber Colin Duffy's already grabbed a hold of his second trip to the Summer Olympics, earning a spot on the 2024 Olympic team heading to Paris in 6 months.
It's one event, but it's an exciting event.
Which after the pandemic restrictions in Tokyo will be a return to Olympic form in Paris.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. My parents and friends will get to come, unlike Tokyo.
Training on the steep mountain roads west of Colorado Springs.
Can vary anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 hours on the bike.
Chloe Dyegaard's the 2023 time trial world champion, and also heading to Paris with USA Cycling, and already a favorite to earn gold in the Olympics.
I'll be competing in 3 events and, hoping to go for a couple golds and all podiums.
While just down the road at the Olympic Training Center at the Team USA shooting practice range, Colorado air rifle athlete Rylan Kissel.
So then I started at the Arvada Rifle and Pistol Club.
Has his sights set on competing in Paris.
Currently I'm in second for the overall standings for air rifle.
Along with many other Colorado athletes, like Colin, who in 6 months
I'm glad to have a lot of extra time to train.
will be climbing at the biggest sporting event on the planet and maybe getting a firm grip on Olympic gold.
Goal is going to be to pick up a medal.
So exciting, 6 months out. The Summer Games in Paris will start on July 26th. They'll go through August 11th. That's just 6 months away. And you might remember that this is a short turnaround for the Summer Games. Jordan and Corey, the Games in Tokyo in 2020 were postponed a year because of the pandemic. So they actually had them in 2021. So it's only been 3 years. Not as much time to prepare, but clearly we got the virtual set and we got the hats.
Everybody, pull out your phone right now, take a picture. We have a rare sighting of a Matt Renew in a hat.
Never happens.
Look at that thing right there. I could get used to this.
It really does. All right, thank you, my friend. Let's get check your forecast now with Chris.
I like the hat. One thing to know about the weather, well, it is snowing out there on this Friday morning. Heaviest of the snow right now is on the south and on the east sides of town, though we're getting a little band of heavier snowfall out by Lakewood and Golden and Wheat Ridge right now as well. But it looks like, again, south of I-70, that's where we're seeing the bulk of the snow. Could get a quick 1 to 3 inches of snow within some of these localized bands. Most of the snow, though, staying off of the roads. Roads are mostly wet, a few slushy spots, but Erica, looks like, right, that most of the roads are mainly wet on this Friday morning.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. That's what we're seeing at this hour. A wetness, a slickness, of course, as well with that snow falling. Left-hand side of your screen from CDOT, I-25 and Evans Avenue. This has been one of the best cameras, just kind of showcasing the snow falling in the metro. I-25 and 58th Avenue on the right-hand side. We're definitely seeing a little bit of a splashiness as cars are kind of passing by, as their headlights are shining on that snow falling. We're seeing it, and volume is building on that northbound side at 58th Avenue in the North Washington area.
I'm Courtney Yoon here at our Cool School Pick of the Month at the Downtown Denver Expeditionary School. Some 5th grade girls are going to be telling us what their favorite part is about going to this school coming up next. Keep going.
It's 6:45 right now on your Friday morning, taking a live look at downtown Denver and Ball Arena, where snow is falling in a lot of the metro area, more to the south. Chris Bianchi is going to have more details about what the weekend looks like. We're talking 60s on the horizon. He's going to have that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Let's get back to our cool school of the month, the Downtown Denver Expeditionary School.
Yeah, 90s reporter Courtney Yoon has been there all morning. Courtney, been an exciting morning for you. They definitely didn't make schools like this when we were going through them.
No, they really didn't. Good morning, Jordan and Corey. This school is so unique and awesome. They have an adventure program. They go on expeditions. And now we have a surprise for them to honor them for being our Cool School Pick of the Month. Lulu, you're going to open this up and share it with the other girls. Okay, you're going to see what's in there. What is it?
It's a cool school picture. It's like, it says like...
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel to be the Cool School Pick of the Month? What makes your school special to you?
What makes our school special? I think our school is special because when it like when you're going through something, you can rely on your teachers and your friends to help you get through it.
That's awesome. We love that. Thank you for that, Lulu. Maya, you're going to tell us what makes this school special to you.
Why I think this school is special is because everyone is crew and everyone is equally respected and everyone gets the education they deserve.
That is amazing. We love that. Ruby, you've got one for us too. What makes this school special?
What makes this school special to me is that the hands-on learning that they teach here, they really dig into the context deeper, and we get a really cool understanding of everything.
That is so awesome. And Maya, you've got one for us too. What makes this school cool and special?
Well, really, I think it's about the community that we build and that we all trust each other and really know each other, and we can feel really important when we're near each other, and we can just share everything about us and not being worried about us being judged or anything like that.
That is so cool. Thank you, girls, for being here this morning.
Thank you for coming.
We love being here, and you can tell that these girls really love their school. They're fifth graders, so next year they'll have to go somewhere else. I know you guys are sad about that, but you've had a great 6 years here at the Downtown Denver Expeditionary School, where you can tell teamwork and expeditions really matter. In Denver, I'm Courtney Yoon for 9 News.
Those are some well-spoken fifth graders, if I do say so myself. Meantime, I want to start things off. This is Gimli in Parker, rolling over in about an inch of snow out there. I'll just say this, I have a corgi at home. She would not roll in the snow. She only likes to roll like that when she finds some worms in the ground. And that is, I can tell you firsthand, that is not fun. She comes inside and that is not a nice smell. Meantime, HD Doppler radar, that is a sign. It is snowing heavily for us here on the south and east sides of town. Good news is with most of the snow, this is for the most part fairly low impact because temperatures are at or above freezing, which means most of that snow is melting on the roadway. So roads are mostly just wet. Erica will have more on that in the next few minutes, but some of that snow starting to dissipate from kind of east to west. So east of 225, you picked up your snow between about 2 and 5 a.m. That snow now dissipating. This is where the heavy stuff is right now. Cherry Hills Village on south to about South Glen, Highlands Ranch, so northern Douglas County, getting into the far southwestern reaches of Denver, so Beaumar, Sheridan on south here. That's where we're seeing some of that snowfall at its heaviest right now. Southern Colorado, I just got a report from my friend George down there, 5 inches of snow for Walsenburg so far, and that snow only going to intensify. If you're heading over Levada Pass today, I would try and go around that Highway 160, looking like a rough drive in southern Colorado. Temperatures right now at, if not slightly above freezing. That is kind of our saving grace in terms of keeping those roads mostly okay this morning. So again, expect some wet roads. Also, remember this, bridges and overpasses freeze over first. So that's where we're going to be looking at some of those slick spots. Heaviest snow south. It'll be mainly this morning. Then by about 10, 11 o'clock or so this morning, that snow dissipates for most of us here across the metro area. Some spots here on the Palmer Divide could pick up 5, 6 inches of snow. Monument, Larkspur, but most of us looking at some of those lighter totals. For today, temperatures top out around 40. Light snow mainly before noon. Those winter weather advisories through tonight for us across southern Colorado in that 7-day forecast. Temperatures in the 60s. Once we get past today, Erica, that car wash looking delightful. But until then, how are those roads looking?
You know what, Chris, right now, we're going to get you started with a live look in Parker, and that's where the roads, they're not looking too hot in some areas. It's been looking a little bit slushy out here. We've got photojournalist Joe Swanson out along South Parker Road and Main Street this hour, and we are definitely seeing just a little bit of accumulation. You can see that snow in the median area just between Parker Road on both sides here on that northbound side. Volume is light overall, and that's what we're seeing, but across the metro, it's that time of the morning where things are slowing down a hair just because of morning volume as we take you over to our CDOT cameras right now. So this is I-25 and Evans Avenue. I've been sticking with this camera all morning long because you can see the flurries flying. You can see the wetness on the interstates, and that's really the trouble here. It's just a wetness. As soon as those flakes hit the pavement, they are not accumulating. We are seeing a lot more volume northbound I-25 in the North Washington area at 58th Avenue, northbound 225 in Mississippi here. We've got northbound delays. Look at all that accumulation of snow on the grassy areas. This is 270 in York Street, where we do have things really slowing down on 270. It's a combination of morning volume and the wetness on the roads. We know that causes trouble for us. Let's go ahead and bring it over to the graphics as far as crashes go. At this very moment, we're not seeing any reported, just a general color of orange and yellow indicating delays because of the slickness we're dealing with. Castle Rock to Monument, going to be a dicey drive on I-25 both directions. Northbound side, definitely have the yellow light. Our graphics need to update. We're up to a 23-minute drive northbound from Castle Rock to 225. As you get ready to do that 225 ride, we're slowing southbound by 7 to 8 minutes. And then we're dealing with almost a 10-minute delay on that northbound side of I-25 between the Tech Center and downtown.
And I'm Brianna Fernandez, live just off I-25 and Arapahoe Road. Right now, we're following two fires at two different locations in the same shopping plaza. The first one started at the Hibachi Grill, further down from where I'm currently standing. The second one happened 4 units down at this Sports Book Bar and Grill. So less than an hour later, crews noticed that smoke was coming down from this bar and grill, and that's where that second fire started. Around 70 firefighters were called to the scene, as well as police. So not only do firefighters have to deal with the fire right now, but they also received reports of a burglary. Right now, crews are on scene just investigating both the fire and that break-in call. Once we have more information, we'll definitely keep you updated.
And weather-wise, we're talking about some of that snow. That's starting to dissipate a little bit for us here on the south and east sides of Denver, but the west side of town getting a pretty good band of snow right now. That'll continue for us for the next little while. But this is where I think we've seen the heaviest of the accumulation. Highlands Ranch, Centennial on north to about Glendale. That's where I think we've seen the majority of the snowfall this morning. But that is starting to push its way off to the west. And I expect all the snow to be done by about 9-10 a.m. or so this morning. So a couple more hours to go. Watch out for some patchy, slick roads in a few spots.
We just have to get through this, and then we're talking 60s
Oh,
for
yeah.
a while.
I have been saying I want to play a round of golf here very soon.
Yes, and get that car wash.
Yes.
I
well,
did that this week.
I did too. We messed up. Yeah. That's it for us here on Channel 9. We're headed over to KTVD for 2 more hours of news, weather, and traffic. And congratulations, you made it through the week.
Oh, gee, don't scare me like that. Sneak up on me, will you?
TGIF, y'all.
Yeah, and I think the F this week, this stands for freezing. I mean, it's going to be, oh yeah, sorry.
Go out dancing, maybe taking a show. Head to the mountains, darling. I don't know. I might just kick off my shoes, taking
My chair is broken.
It's like slowly going down.
It was just, I don't know what's wrong with this chair.
You made it to the weekend with the 9 News crew. You got weather and sports, entertainment news, so you can get out and do
A big brown bug, but a big brown bear. A big brown bug, but a big brown bear.
I grabbed some. The Samoa's for you.
Taking some. I got you.
I got you.
the week with your pals and
Walk forward. This way. Oh, this way. Okay. Oh, okay. Other forward. Okay.
maybe taking a show. Head to the mountains, darling. I don't know.
Chicken nuggets.
Just sit back, check it out till it
See that?
We made it through the week. I'll see you back here on